Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be creating a distressed framed wood sign. We're going to start by building our wood sign in the frame first. So I am using a 1x6 piece of pine first and cutting it down to 22 inches long using my compound miter saw. And now we're going to work on the frame. So these are the shorter end pieces, and I'm using a 1x2 furring strip for this. You're going to want to cut 2 pieces down to 5.5 inches long. Now to get accurate cuts, you're going to want to measure and then cut your first piece, set that off to the side, and then come back, measure, and cut your next piece. And here's a close-up look at the placement of those 2 end pieces. And then we are going to cut the top and bottom pieces, which are going to span the entire length of this piece, including those end pieces that we previously cut. So these, we are going to use the furring strips again, but these are going to be cut down to 23.25 inches long. So again, you want to measure, cut, set your piece aside, and then measure and cut your next piece to 23.25 inches long as well. And here is a look at the placement for the top and bottom pieces. And at this point you want to check for fit. So make adjustments now if you're needing to cut down any little pieces, and make sure you have everything square and tight. And then it's time to move on to sanding and prepping our sign for paint and for wood stain. I'm using an orbital sander for this with 80 grit sandpaper. Once all of the pieces have been sanded down, including all the ends and the sides, tops and bottoms, then we can go in and start finishing our sign. So I'm using a dark walnut wood stain by Minwax for the frame and making sure I get every surface of these. And this is a oil-based wood stain, so I let it sit overnight to cure before I came back to finish the sign the next day. So I actually am using a Vaseline Distressing Technique for the wood frame. So I just dipped a paintbrush in some Vaseline and I'm adding some to the edges and high spots on the wood. And what this does is we are going to paint over this, and once we go to remove the paint from these spots, it's going to let the wood stain underneath show through. So it's basically a barrier, so we can later on remove paint and you'll be able to see through the paint to this beautiful wood finish underneath. Once I was happy with all of the Vaseline spots that I had added it to, then it was time to go in with some white chalk paint, and I used a foam paintbrush for this and covered the entire surface of the wood. Now this part is up to you. I did let mine dry before coming back in and adding a second coat of white chalk paint. I wanted mine to mainly be white with just a hint of the wood showing through. If you want more of a distressed look, then you can just do one coat of chalk paint, but I did do two on this one. And once that coat of paint was dry, then I went in with some sandpaper and a towel and I rubbed off the chalk paint in the spots where there were Vaseline. I have a full tutorial on how to do this, and I'll link that down in the description box below, so if you have more questions about this or you'd like more details about this technique, you can find them in that tutorial. Then it was time to move on to the center of this wood sign, so I am covering the piece of 1x6 pine with 2 coats of chalk paint, letting it dry in between coats. After this was dry, then I moved on to my design. I used my Silhouette Cameo to create this, and I have this actual design available in my Etsy shop, which is crossmyheart.com, as an SVG and a JPEG file, and I'll link that down in the description box below if you'd like to recreate your own grateful wood sign with this exclusive design. And then I am using Oramask number 813 stencil material to create the design on the wood sign. So I have my transfer material on top of the stencil, and then you just peel that away from the paper backing before adding it to the top of the painted wood sign. You want to make sure you take your time and center the stencil where you want it before applying the design with your squeegee, and then removing that top transfer tape. And now to add the paint colors to the top of the stencil, I'm using the color Elephant in Waverly Chalk Paint for the wording, and then the color Celery in Waverly Chalk Paint for the side leaf designs. My best advice for applying paint to the top of stencils is to do less paint and more coats. The thinner the paint that you put on there, the less likely you are going to get paint bleed underneath your stencils. And you also want to make sure to do an up and down tapping motion and not brush the paint on. This will help to bond your stencil down as you are applying paint, and again will help you to have less paint bleed once you go to remove the stencil. Now I like to let my paint dry and then come back to add a second coat of paint, and then once that coat is dry, then you can remove your Oramask stencil material to reveal your design. Now it's completely up to you if you want to do it this way, by adding your design to the wood first and then building your frame, or building your wood sign first and then later on adding the stencil and paint. So it's completely up to you how you want to do it. I do it both ways. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. But now for this part, I'm actually building the frame last, and I'm adding wood glue to the side pieces first, and then using 1 1/4 inch brad nails in my nail gun to build the frame around the design. So do your side pieces first and then attach your top and bottom pieces, and then you'll be completely finished with your wood sign. And here is a look at the finished wood sign. I love the combination of the distressed frame with the clean look of the center design, and it's just a beautiful new piece to complement our new farmhouse style living. I hope that this tutorial inspired you. Make sure to take a second and give it a thumbs up for me. You can also hit the share button below and share this video with your friends and family and inspire them too. If you aren't already, I hope you will hit that subscribe button as well and stick around and join me as I bring you new DIYs, new tutorials, and new inspiration every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to check the link below to my online Etsy shop to check out that file that I'll have available there. And I want to thank you all so much again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye guys.